Hello, my Bill 5000 Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. We are back with another Watcher. This one is titled The Unkillable Weirdo Who Invented the Saxophone. Puppet History. All right. I'm excited. Let's go ahead and get into today's story because I believe we are starting a new season, and I really enjoy puppet history. Oh, all right. Let's get on with it. Go ahead. Turn them lights down low. Put on something comfy, cup with something special. Let's get learned.
Welcome one and all to the shining 6th season of Puppet History. Everything is different now. No longer will two innocent students be pitted against one another for our amusement, senselessly competing for the nonsensical title of History Master or that finally meaningless coveted cup. That format was exploitative, cruel, and on behalf of the former murdered me, I apologize.
Somebody read their own Reddit page.
Moving forward, we'll be taking an ever-winding look at yet more chapters in the heavy book we call history, while our guests ruthlessly compete for the coveted title of History Wizard and the right to don the coveted cap. I, as always, and for the first time, am your beloved host, the Professor. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. Now, it is my great pleasure to ask, Ryan Bergara, my dear friend, are you ready?
Sure, man. Love the getup. You're in your Beatles era.
Oh, you just wait, you'll find out.
The getup is what you noticed, not his brand new face.
Special guest Steven Lim, are you ready?
Oh, it's great to be back here.
For some reason in my mind, I thought you died, but then I remembered that was sort of the whole Black Plague thing.
Wait, oh my gosh, the last time I've seen you face to face.
I was warning you about the dangers of a pandemic.
And I laughed about it.
Yeah, you did, you piece of shit.
Try
I'm
looking
sorry.
up from your phone, dude.
I apologize to everybody.
Well then, let's crack in.
Fucking Steven Lim. It's all his fault.
Your hair looks good this season, Professor.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you don't have a hat.
I don't want to wear my little hat anymore.
It's crazy.
Come touch my fuzzy little head.
It is nice. It is pretty cool.
Are you bigger?
I'm bigger, but I'm still just a little guy. You guys ready to learn?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, to begin,
What the
kind of
fuck?
music you like?
I listen to pop music.
You listen to pop music.
Pop, whatever's on the radio these days.
I listen to pretty much everything, honestly.
Reggae.
Yeah, there's some reggae. I like Bob Marley.
Well, today it's easy to take for granted the infinite ocean of musical genres, artists, and songs available in your cellular telephones. But, like everything, it wasn't always like that. Only a couple hundred years ago, if you wanted that hip new sound, you had to wait for someone to play something new in your presence. And if you wanted something you've truly never heard before, well, then you gotta find the true pioneers, the folks building their very own instruments.
It is interesting that there was an era where people were just making up instruments.
Yeah. I mean, there was a whole span of time there where people were like, yeah, what about a little instrument that goes wop, wop, wah,
Or what about
wah,
one like
wow?
this?
Oh gosh.
What?
I-
What? Hang on.
The entire...
Wait, no, wait, shh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it integral that you do that face?
These are what founder meetings are like, by the way. Just FYI. This is how we started Watcher.
Our story today is about one such inventor, a man whose dreams about
great.
sound
It's
revolutionized
fucking
music forever, and the myriad ways the universe hated and punished him for it. Let's talk about Sax, baby! Adolphe Sax!
It just hit me that the guy's name was Sax.
Yeah, can you venture to guess what instrument he invented?
If I had a...
Probably the violin.
He's zagging on us. Antoine Joseph Sax, that's Adolphe to you and me, was born November 6th, 1814 in Dinan, Belgium. The first of 11 children, Adolphe's dad, Charles, was a successful and respected maker of musical instruments, specializing in brass and woodwinds. When Adolphe was still young, King William I of Orange, the new king of the Netherlands and Grand Duke of Luxembourg, brought Charles to his newly established royal court in Brussels and appointed him Belgium's chief musical instrument manufacturer. Ooh, our first question of the season! What was the main job for Belgium's chief musical instrument manufacturer? A. Create instruments for use at the Royal Concert Hall. B. Create instruments for the army. Or C. Create instruments for the hundreds of entertainers in the king's court.
The way you set us up, it felt like we were going to be in a collaborative learning environment.
I mean, do you guys want to?
Maybe not with this guy, but
Oh, okay. You don't want to collaborate with the guy who crosses his eyes and plays his belly button?
I didn't cross my eyes.
You look pretty fucked up, man.
Man, that's what happens when you feel the music running through you.
I guess. Ryan, what you got over there?
I'm gonna put B. I just love the idea of a flute that shoots bullets. You would want them to be able to play a tune, but also double function as a weapon if need be, like a bayonet on top of a saxophone.
Well, a bayonet would probably be better on a trombone, right? Because then
you could shoot that thing.
You could stab so many people.
you could stab them while going, whoa.
Yeah.
Steve, what'd you put?
I also put B, Battle of the Bands.
My beat boys are out here. Beep, 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 buzz, buzz.
You gonna pop out your belly button for the beat?
Yeah, pop it out, bud.
2 times, you gotta pay for it.
All right. I'll Apple Pay you right now. $5.
But do it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Drop that beat.
Beep, 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 boys.
You know what? I want to near your mic, so here we go.
Oh,
Yeah, get in there.
Here we go. I want to near your mic.
Beep, 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 boys. Beep, 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 boys. Buzz, buzz. Yeah.
You know, for that, I'm gonna
We're
send
having
you.
fun this season. I
I'm
don't
sending
care
you
what you
$6.
get. We're fucking doing it, man. All right. Well, that's gonna be beats
Oh, this
all
is too
around for
much.
my beautiful beat boys.
Hey! High five.
Yeah.
My beat boys, strong. Yes, sir, it's been true throughout history and remains true today. If you owned a business, the surest way to prosperity was to set those morals on a shelf and score yourself some of that sweet government cheese. Ideally, in the military. But the question remains, why would an army need a bunch of instruments? Well, back in the first half of the 19th century, regimental band music was a crucial element of military prestige and prowess.
Really?
If you wanted a foreign nation to respect your military might, short of trying to murder them with bullets, you could instead play them a sample from your band camp. During this era, music was such an essential part of the armed forces that military victories often meant you got to take all the instruments from the losing army.
Oh,
Really?
That's
cool as
amazing.
shit.
Don't take my flute.
Shoot a bunch of people, get a Rickenbacker guitar?
Yeah,
Sure.
you kicked my
Rip
friend's
off his
asses,
belly
but don't take my
button.
flute.
Well, they're
What
dead.
they'll do. They'll pry it from your cold dead hands.
Bullshit.
I'm trying to think if we were in a war, what I would want from you, but I don't think there's anything
the
you
belly button.
have that I'd be like.
This feels pretty
I
rude.
gotta
It feels
take
very
that.
rude.
With his dad collecting that government paycheck, one would think young Adolphe must have lived the carefree life of a happy Belgian child, munching on waffles and pissing in fountains, the type of European childhood fairy tales are written about. But such was not the case for our little Brussels sprout.
Hey,
That was funny, huh?
It was good.
How did Adolphe spend his youth? A. Learning military tactics from his father's army clients. B. In and out of Belgian jail for disturbing the peace. Or C. Stuck in a Final Destination-esque death loop. Ryan, what'd you put?
I put A, learning to mass murder.
Okay, and Steven?
C, final countdown.
Well, a point for Steven Lim.
Hey!
Now, it's unclear the nature of the curse that seemed to be placed on Adolphe's head as a boy, but listen to this list of events and tell me nothing was up. At age 2, he tumbled down 2 flights of stairs, bonking his head on a little rock so severely that he was comatose for a week. At age 3, he chugged a glass of sulfuric acid, which he thought was milk, which may have only been one of 4 substances that he poisoned himself with, including white lead, copper oxide, and arsenic.
Okay.
Wait, when you're 2 and 3, you can't be held responsible for your actions. This sounds like parental negligence.
Well, you know, you can't be leaving glasses of sulfuric acid out.
Around your kids.
Yeah, why was there a glass of sulfuric out?
I don't know what they're up to
Honey,
in
where
Belgium.
should I put this glass of sulfuric acid? Oh, put it in the fridge.
He once swallowed a needle. He jumped onto a burning hot stove. Some gunpowder exploded in a workshop, which threw him across the room and left his body badly burned. A tile dislodged from a roof and fell on his head. And at age 10, he fell in a river and was about to be pulled into a whirlpool until he was saved by a villager. By the time he was a teenager, Adolphe's head was scarred and half his body was covered in burns. Cool, but he survived the gauntlet. And god damn it if he wasn't gonna make something of himself.
So
He
he
damn
looks
well
like Darth
better.
Vader,
There's
kinda.
not much
Sounds
left
like it was
of him.
only half his body though, so he had big Harvey Dent energy.
Okay, so Harvey Dent
Yeah.
more. Well, that's quite the rap sheet. This all seems pretty wild.
I mean,
Two-facing it.
how wild is it for
Gotcha,
that time
bud.
period, though? Like, these are just like normal things back then.
You know, I guess tile on your head, nothing you could do about that. Just looking up right now, I could see about 6 or 7 things that would instantly kill me.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, between regular brushes with death, Adolphe was quickly learning his father's trade, surpassing his old man in both skill and ambition. By age 15, his instruments were already good enough to display at the Brussels Industrial Exhibition. By 20, he'd invented his very own instrument. That was, of course, say it with me,
The sax.
the bass clarinet.
I knew it.
Gotcha, Steven!
You son of a gun.
You knew it, so you'll get a history point for knowing that I was zagging.
Oh, wait, that makes sense, though. The shape of the bass clarinet is similar to the shape of the sax.
It is. It's got that weird neck.
I was thinking of the more Squidward-y kind of clarinet, but no.
I played that clarinet.
You did?
Yeah, me and Lizzie both played the clarinet.
Do those reeds taste good?
No. And they get disgusting.
Do they
I'm
sell
sure.
flavored ones?
They actually do.
They
That's
do?
a good idea, dude.
I had some because they were so disgusting.
Well, in fact, the bass clarinet already existed, but the version that people knew before Adolphe got his mitts on it, sucked. Adolphe transformed the bass clarinet from a, quote, unreliable and mostly unplayable instrument into a regal, elegant woodwind that provided a rich bottom to any instrumental configuration and, remarkably, played in tune. The newly rehabilitated instrument had quickly been adopted as a standard member of the woodwind
yeah.
group, and its inventor
Bro, you
acknowledged
got-
as an engineer of great promise in the musical capitals of Europe.
I've played on some bad clarinets before, like the $200, $300 ones.
Yeah.
They don't compare.
What's the worst you've ever played in front of an audience?
Once we were playing the Harry Potter theme song, or whatever it's called. And,
Can we put a picture up of young Steven right now so we could get some context for who's carrying this clarinet?
And man, I ruined that ruined it.
Yes, sir, Adolphe was well on his way to being a somebody in the cutthroat business of instrument manufacturing. But take my word for it, when you start making big waves in a stodgy, stuck-in-the-past industry, you're gonna make some enemies.
Oh, yeah.
With his invention of the
Definitely.
new and improved bass clarinet, a jealous bass clarinetist who played the old, barely listenable version of the instrument threatened to quit his orchestra if they adopted the new version.
What the fuck?
Hey, how did Sax respond? A, he challenged the guy to a musical duel. B, he challenged the guy to an arsenic swallowing contest. Or C, he challenged the guy to a good old-fashioned gun duel.
Oh,
A.
a Hamilton situation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You guys having fun?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I'm having a blast.
I was gone for so long, I forgot, you know.
You know, believe in yourself a little bit more.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no room for that crippling self-doubt. There's only room for one person to do that on this set, and it's fucking me.
Cool.
All right.
I've never seen someone be so confident with their lack of self-esteem.
You know, it's an art form, and I've perfected it over the years.
Really good. Beefy baby, what do we got?
Hey, dude. Play it, dipshit. Let's go.
Okay. And Stevie.
That one is the obvious answer, so I'm going with C, Alexander Hamilton. Winner take all.
Okay, well, we're gonna find out via the magic of theater. Bye-bye. Voila! My masterpiece, the thing I'll forever be known for inventing, the bass clarinet. Fa! Fa, I say! I am one of the greatest bass clarinetists in Brussels, and I say fa! If your instrument replaces old tutors here, I'll quit the band! You are a stubborn fool, and to prove it, I challenge you. Oh, to what? A gun duel? Yes, except instead of guns, we will use music. I accept the terms. You go first. Very well. Well, if that's the best you can do, I hope you're ready to be branded a loser. Prepare your ears for the erotic sounds of my horrible clarinet. Ta-da! I think I'm going to take the W on this one. Yes, I sounded very bad. Whee! Yes, a point for Beef Boy. In an industry rife with proud, egotistic men, Sax stood out as especially arrogant and would often embarrass his detractors in musical duels. With lots of big ideas and the musical chops to back them up, Adolphe spent most of his 20s honing his craft in Belgium, making quite a name for himself in the instrument-making racket.
How do you even know how to make an instrument?
How does anyone know how to make anything? I can't.
How did they do it?
I can't
How did they do
make
it?
anything.
How did anyone make a cake? You know? If I had to invent a shoe, it would look so bad and probably too small for most people.
Is it because you never wear shoes?
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
you could have my shoe.
By 1841, at age 27, Adolphe was working on something big. He was going to be presenting a new instrument, this time totally original, to the Belgian National Convention. An early iteration of the, that's right, saxophone. This was a huge deal. The last new instrument to be introduced in Western music was the clarinet, more than 100 years prior.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's a long time to go without a new instrument.
New instrument just dropped.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Now, Sax wasn't just hitting that fat brass so he could make money. He was trying to solve a legitimate problem in orchestras. As author Michael Siegel describes in his book, The Devil's Horn, quote, in an orchestra, the strings were often overwhelmed by the woodwinds, which in turn were overpowered by the brasses. Sax had created an instrument with the tonal qualities of the woodwinds, the projection of the brasses, and the flexibility of the strings. Essentially, Sax envisioned his horn to be the rug that would tie the whole orchestra together.
Is this the last instrument that was invented? Because I just realized how excited I would be if it got announced that like the Philharmonic is gonna have a new instrument they're gonna debut, like a big fucked up horn, like a like
Yeah, like a big old like whoop, and then
yeah,
like a
yeah,
and it made a noise like
yeah, barks like a dog.
barks like a dog.
It's just a fucking dog.
Well, unfortunately, the music world wasn't reacting to Sax's new phone with much celebration. Reportedly, the exhibition refused to give him first prize because he was too young, informing him that, well, if they gave him this prize now, there would be nothing else for him to win later. That's bullshit.
We've all been there in our careers.
People die all the time. Give them their accolades when they're young, you know?
Agreed.
I
Appreciate
got eaten
them.
by a dinosaur.
That's true. What was hell like?
I didn't actually see hell.
I feel like you saw hell. I feel like you're lying to me.
Why did you assume he went to hell?
I mean,
Did he go to heaven?
we could run a whole video reel of why he would go to hell.
I'm a nasty little guy. There are also reports that a competitor at the exhibition saw the early saxophone and kicked it across the floor, breaking the instrument and Sax's heart.
Damn.
Oh my God.
That's nasty. Band kids are feral.
Yeah, they're competitive. They just challenge each other to get
A lot
the
of
first
angst
chair.
in band kids.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like in basketball or like a sport, you get all that out. Band, you just gotta sit there
Yeah.
and listen to this fucking guy solo next to you. And loving every second of it too.
That was a nervous creature.
Don't call yourself
Be
a
honest.
creature, dude.
Well, the Belgian National Convention of 1841 was the last straw for our grumpy little Sax. He wasn't getting the respect he felt he deserved, stuck in podunk Brussels. In 1842, Adolphe Sax took his talents to cosmopolitan Paris, where he hoped he would find an urbane crowd appreciative of the funny-looking horn he'd named after himself. Unfortunately, Paris wasn't all baguettes, sex, and eclairs. For most of his time in Paris, Adolphe lived in poverty. Albert Remy, one of Adolphe's biographers, describes Adolphe's time in the City of Lights as, quote, a prodigious, tormented existence, darkened by dire experiences and upheld with courage and fortitude. Which is also what Bergara says to me anytime I ask him how his weekend was.
I told you that in confidence, but yeah, it's fine.
Now, Adolphe Sax clearly had a great idea. He just needed to spread that idea. So, he decided to take a page from his father's score. He sought a deal with the government to outfit the French military band. To secure this contract, Adolphe presented his new and improved saxophone at the 1844 Paris Industrial Exhibition, including to Lieutenant General Comte de Rumigny, the king's aide-de-camp. De Rumigny was blown away by Sax's phone and thought it was just the thing needed to revitalize the French military's less-than-exceptional band. De Rumigny arranged for Sax to give a performance for King Louis-Philippe, Queen Marie Amélie, and their sons.
He made him have like that Ratatouille moment.
Yeah.
When he bites into the ratatouille, he sees his whole childhood flash before his eyes.
Yeah. If I had never heard a saxophone in my life and someone walked into a room and started going like, I'd be like, holy shit!
Me too. I'd be like, dude, that's the best sounding thing I've ever heard in my life. And why does he not have a shirt on?
Yeah, it's a sexy instrument. You get real sweaty when you play it too.
I wish that was a rule, honestly. That you could
No
never,
shirts?
You could never play a saxophone with a shirt on.
No shirts, yes sax, no problem.
Yeah, dude.
Now, coming off this momentum, Adolphe wrote the French Minister of War, laying out his plan to totally overhaul the sound of France's military, courtesy of the hot new sound provided by his sexy little saxophone. Now, there was only one man standing in the way, the director in charge of training the military's band, Michel Carafa. Carafa was one of Adolphe's many detractors, and he had submitted his own saxophone-free plan to revitalize France's war sound. This was such high stakes that a simple symphonic duel wasn't going to settle matters. There needed to be a whole battle of the bands. The date, April 22nd, 1844. The place, Paris's Champ de Mars, a big park that would, in a few years,
sounds
have a
fucking
big
amazing.
pointy steel tower erected above it. The combatants, Adolphe Sax versus Michel Carafa. Both men had assembled 45-piece orchestras, but Adolphe was at a disadvantage. Ooh, what was the disadvantage? A, someone had bribed members of Adolphe's orchestra to not show up. B, someone had switched out all of the sheet music for Adolphe's songs. Or C, someone had poisoned Adolphe the night before.
Oh, damn, a
C.
Jordan flu game scenario.
Yeah.
I want to say C.
That's when
Of course,
he
I know what
had,
you're talking about.
Well,
He knows what you're talking about.
yeah, that's when Jordan had the flu, but he also had a game.
Actually, he ate some bad pizza.
He had bad pizza?
Yeah, that's the real story.
Yeah, but the rumor is that the people who made the pizza did it on purpose.
No. It had been sitting out for a while.
Well, hey, wait, I have an
All
idea.
right.
Why don't you guys answer the fucking question?
I can talk about sports more. How about we talk about
that?
sports?
Sea flu games.
See flu game!
Hey, money please.
That's pretty good.
Well, a point for Steven Lim.
Hey!
Woo, 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 woo!
You got it. You got your
doing
business
so
boy
good.
here.
Yes, at least 2 bass saxophonists didn't show up on the day, and some reports claim Adolphe's band was 20% smaller than the competition. This only motivated Sax further, and he showed up to lead his band with 2 instruments strapped to his side.
Oh, shit,
Double wielding!
Insane.
Now get a load of this. 20,000 people showed up to witness the carnage of battle. Though applausometer technology was still centuries away,
I'm sorry, but the little Sonic the Hedgehog music playing in the background, and I'm digging it, bro.
it was clear who won by the reaction of the crowd.
So they did it Apollo style, or like You Got Served style.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Who do you think won?
You know, I'm gonna go with sax because there's a reason why the saxophone is around. I assume it's because the sax played mightily, and everyone was like, damn, what's that sexy instrument, and where can I get the nearest hotel room?
Well, in fact, Sax kicked Carafa's brass. Part of the victory could be attributed to the plain fact that they had an easier time hearing Sax. Imagine a crowd of 20,000 people trying to hear a concert with no sound amplification. Making instruments loud, however, was Sax's bread and butter. His original instruments, plus the modifications he added to the traditional instruments, meant more people could hear and react to his band's sounds. Sax emerged triumphant.
Get 'em,
the
bruh.
quote, talk of
Yeah.
Paris for days.
I'm just imagining how goofy these modifications looked, like some Doc Brown giant. You know the thing they put on like a dog's head so it doesn't lick its balls?
Oh, yeah, I
after?
assume it was conical.
Even like the shape of the sax today, I get it now. It's like it's pointing up so that the sound comes out at you like a megaphone. Whereas the clarinet, we're going down.
You're going straight
We're
down.
going straight down to the ground.
He's right. It's a good point.
You're right.
Physics.
Well, the French military immediately adopted the saxophone and, wouldn't you know it, started winning more musical contests. For his part, securing that fat government contract finally meant a bit of financial breathing room for Adolphe. Unfortunately, it also intensified the hatred that every other music man in Paris felt toward the Belgian import. I mean, hey, you start picking up some popularity, you're gonna get your haters, baby.
Well, we should be thankful for our haters.
You have haters?
Haters be hating.
I'm thankful
don't
for
have
my haters.
haters.
I'm thankful for my haters every day.
Me too.
I'm thankful for my haters. They make me stronger.
Exactly. Every morning I say in the mirror, if you hate me, thank you.
By this time, the fierce rivalry Sax had with more or less everyone had grown into an entire lifestyle. Sax's enemies formed a coalition with the express purpose of destroying the saxophone and with it, Sax's life. The Association of United Instrument Makers, as the group was known, had a president, a treasurer, and dues-paying members. And they pursued every possible avenue to destroy Adolphe Sax.
Sounds like Twitter nowadays, honestly.
Shit, dude.
Sheesh, man.
Sounds like someone does have some haters.
Damn.
Love you.
The group filed countless lawsuits against him, not just to try and financially ruin him, but also so he would be tied up in court instead of hanging out in his workshop, absolutely dominating the industry. In fact, a big reason why the saxophone looks how it does was in response to one of the myriad frivolous lawsuits thrown at him. The German chapter of the group, that's right, it was international, made an instrument with a similar shape, hoping to compete with the saxophone, but its sound paled in comparison and it fell into obscurity. Sax's foes would even bribe his employees to abandon Sax and steal his specialized tools.
I don't understand the concentrated hate for this saxophone. Did this guy do something else behind the scenes that we're not aware of? Did he bang these people's wives?
Maybe people thought it was just an obnoxious noise.
It's loud. It is a loud instrument.
And also, it's a modern sounding instrument, It's got that new sound.
It's like people hating on BTS when they came on the scene.
Right,
You know,
right.
they're objectively a good band with great music, but
Yes.
then it's easy to hate because they're not the classical music that you
They're not
used
the
to.
Beatles. Well, despite all these efforts, Sax continued
I
to
still like
absolutely
BTS.
wipe the floor with his opponents in musical duels. At one point, 12 of his saxotubas, that's right, there are other instruments in the sax family, were able to drown out a reported 1,500 instruments.
Just play that scenario out, though. I'm very doubtful they set this up. A group of 12 people versus 15. That's a lot of people.
Whoa, but you gotta see this instrument. This is wild.
Is it? Oh, shit, it's fucking huge, dude.
I would see you playing this thing.
Oh my God.
Can we show this?
With no one able to compete with Sax musically, his antagonists resorted to attempts on his life. One would-be assassin ended up stabbing an employee of Sax's to death instead of Sax himself.
It's another pro of not living with Instagram, too. No one really knows what you look like.
Yeah.
If Sax were alive today, he'd probably be all over the internet.
Yeah.
He'd want to get it out there, check out this instrument. He'd be all over TikTok.
When you say it that way, I would probably start to hate him if my
Yeah.
feed just kept getting overpopulated by a dude playing a saxophone.
You'd hear that little TikTok voice being like, check out this new instrument.
Oh God, I fucking had it with the Siri voice, dude.
What's she
Please,
doing? They gotta stop that.
just stop it.
Another put a whole-ass bomb under Sax's bed, only to see it explode prematurely because of a faulty fuse. If only these a-holes had known what everyone in Belgium learned when Sax was a wee boy. Adolphe Sax could not be killed. Then, in early 1848, Adolphe suffered the biggest blow to the saxophone's rise. What happened? A. Adolphe Sax was finally murdered. B. The invention of the guitar. Or C. Revolution!
C.
Oh, yeah.
C. Revolution.
Oh yeah, here we go. And what would be Bergara guitar, baby? Because you all know I played the guitar for that couple months when I got my heart broken.
You don't
Yeah.
play the guitar.
And then I never picked it up again.
B, got hit with that G-string.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh, B-boys! We got B-boys again, huh?
That's right, dude.
Beep boys. Beep boys.
I know you're trying to coax another belly button playing out, but it's not going to happen.
You
I
don't
told
know what
you.
I'm trying to do.
What if I Venmo
Come on.
you?
Come on. Beep boys.
You know what? So you can hear it a little better. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, look at that.
Go on.
Why is it weirder for you to do it to him than to me?
Stand up in front of the theater.
All right, here we go.
Play your belly button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah,
say,
I got a little hot and bothered there. Wow.
my angle of that was not the best.
All right, let's find out via the magic of theater.
Oh god.
Another day, another dollar. I hope the king wants some more instruments. Oh, these lawsuits are getting a little pricey.
Oh, shh.
Bonjour, how may I help you? Yes, I'm here to see the king. Oof, well, a bit of bad news. The king has been deposed. He's been deposed? Oui, we fired him. It's a French Revolution, you know, but not the big one. The king's gone, but I can tell the new rulers you're here if you want to talk to them. What's your name? I am Adolphe Sax. Oof. What? Well, you're Adolphe Sax as in the saxophone, right? Well, the very same. Finally, some recognition. Oui. Well, because your instruments are now pretty associated with that old king's army, and since we're not big fans of that old king's armies, every instrument with your name on it is banned from bands. Oh. Oui. Okay, so au revoir.
Fuck that, bruh.
Fuck this shit.
This is such a
Bitch
weird.
slapping.
He's giving humanity a gift here, and they're making it very hard for him to give that gift. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah, points for neither of you. It took a literal revolution to get the soulful sound of that sweet, sweet saxophone out of France. The only good news for Sax was that in 19th century France, you never had to wait too long for another revolution. By 1852, a mere 4 years later, Napoleon III, not to be confused with Bonaparte, overthrew the Second Republic and seized dictatorial powers. 2 days after taking power, one of his first acts as ruler, Napoleon III restored the saxophone to regiment ensembles. Well, unfortunately for our boy, the good news didn't last long. In 1853, and for the next several years, Sax's life was made incredibly difficult by a cancerous tumor growing on his lip. The tumor resisted treatment, growing to a, quote, grotesque size, making eating impossible and even threatening to suffocate him. Of course, the horrible irony is that if Adolphe couldn't breathe, he certainly couldn't make his funky horn sing. By 1858, he basically had two options. He could die, or he could try to survive surgery that would remove half of his jaw. Sax, never one to conform to the options laid out before him, turned to a doctor from India named Dr. Vries, who gave Sax an Ayurvedic treatment, basically secret herbal extractions from India. 6 months later, the tumor started to shrink until it disappeared completely. Again, worth saying, Adolphe Sax could not be killed.
Like an herbal remedy that works on a tumor?
I guess.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. Weird, huh?
Do they use whatever that guy gave him now today?
I don't know. Maybe it was a very specific kind of tumor.
I've never heard of anything like that. That's like the craziest thing in this whole story.
It's a good story, right?
It is a good story.
is
I'm
a
just
good
curious.
story.
I think they should
I'm
implement
loving
that
every
more,
fucking
Well,
moment
that
of it,
brings
bruh.
us to 1894, when Adolphe Sax caught lousy old pneumonia and died at the age of 79. At the time, he was working
Not
as a
bad,
stage
though.
manager at the Paris Opera House and living off a small pension that he'd successfully begged from the French government, hoping it would give him, quote, a few hours of peace in a life consumed by trouble. And, as we heard, he wasn't lying. Because of how he'd been hounded by his adversaries, he'd been forced to declare bankruptcy 3 times in his life and sold off all his rare instruments and handmade tools.
Wow.
What a sad instrument.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad and sexy at the same time.
You're a band guy. Was there any kind of like stereotype to a saxophone player?
I always regretted not playing the sax
Oh,
because it's so cool.
It's definitely cooler than the clarinet. I'll say that.
for sure.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Lizzie's shaking her head, but
Sorry, it is.
I think
it
that's
is.
also why she doesn't understand that it's cooler.
I also wish I played trumpet because people say that trumpet.
Yeah, one of the
players,
coolest instruments
Yeah.
there ever was.
They say that they make the best kissers.
That's true.
That sounds like something people would say in like band, like in like middle school.
When a trumpeter kisses you, it's like,
Yeah, I've seen like solos of Dizzy Gillespie just going crazy and just like. Can you imagine your first date? Like, oh, great night.
Well, at the time of his death, Sax had 35 patents to his name and many ideas for other spectacular fantasies. His unproduced inventions include the Sax Thunder, which was a giant organ powered by a steam engine that was to be about 167 feet tall. And then, of course, there was the Saxo Cannon. What was the Saxo Cannon? Describe it for me, and heck, why not even do a little drawing?
Ooh. Now, I'm not the best artist, so I apologize.
I see some great drawings.
Don't even want to try.
Not great.
Okay, hands down.
You know, like a rocket launcher, but it kind of looks like a saxophone. Like you could see at the top there, he's playing little buttons.
Yeah. And Steven, what do you got?
Mine's basically a saxophone with a big hole. But notice that the saxophone players are always like this. They're always leaning.
Uh-huh.
So I thought he'd be leaning, but it's a saxophone that catches cannonballs? I don't know.
Interesting.
Oh, it's an acceptor, too.
Yes.
Well, you're both sort of in the ballpark, so I'm going to give a jelly bean to both of you. I know that means nothing, but it should mean something to you.
That's great. I mean, it's a good drawing.
I'll take it.
Now, unlike his other inventions meant for military bands, the Saxo Cannon was to be an actual weapon. It was to be a mortar bullet 11 yards wide, weighing 550 tons. And Sax believed it would be powerful enough to take out an entire city.
Dude, so it's kind of like what I was saying before, when you make a flute into a weapon.
Exactly.
God.
Fuck yeah, this guy was a genius. Not because he said something that was similar to me. Or maybe,
Well,
maybe
maybe,
it is because that's what.
I've heard of Oppenheimer, but Beboppenheimer?
That's stupid, but it's good.
Thank you. For the next century after Adolphe's death, the saxophone barely survived. People thought it sounded too carnal, too voluptuous, which people often say about me as well. The friggin' Pope hated the dang thing, and few music schools were willing to teach it. Eventually, the instrument came to the Americas as part of the French military band led by Napoleon III in the 1860s. But it wasn't until the jazz world embraced the funny tutor that the saxophone assured its place not just in music history, but also in music future. Jazz, baby.
I wonder what the popularity of the saxophone was before jazz. Like, it probably was seen as like a very novel idea to implement this instrument that everyone hates.
Though he never had much money, Sax knew he was leaving behind quite the legacy. As he boasted, quote, "Before me, I am proud to say, the musical instrument industry was nothing, or next to nothing, in France. I created this industry. I carried it to an unrivaled height. I developed the legions of workers and musicians, and it is above all my counterfeiters who have profited from my work." Whew. Hard to believe this guy stirred up so many enemies, right?
Starting to get why he was a little unpopular.
He's a player, bro.
I had not heard him speak until then, but I was like, why does everyone giving this guy shit? And he's like, the music industry is me. I'm not a businessman. I am the business man.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Well, that concludes our history lesson. Now, in the past, we relied on a complicated algorithm to determine the history master, but I've since taken a large mallet to that stupid algorithm machine and left it to sit unsupervised in the Watcher Entertainment dumpster next to that equally stupid hologram box from last season.
Dude.
Yeah.
I wish
Fuck
I could have
that
been
guy.
there to fucking take a huge dump on that algorithm machine.
Oh, yeah, I beat the living shit out of it. So, I'm gonna head backstage and try to do math on my own. In the meantime, enjoy this special performance from one of Adolphe Sax's scrapped instrument prototypes. I'll see you in a bit. Boom!
I forgot there were songs on the show.
This is the best part.
The mother of invention is both passion and intention, and the plight can be rewarding, but it also can drag ass. And every grand creation's just the final iteration in a cavalcade of pitiful rough drafts. And so it's me, failed instrument prototype 73, and I sound like, the most god-awful record that you'll ever hear. You wish a pack of hungry sewer rats would gnaw your ears. The drum go boom, and the horn will toot-a-toot, but I sound like a cow with hemorrhoids attempting to prove. Oh baby, I sound bad. Yeah, I do. Oh. Well, I still recall the day when Adolphe took me me out to play and put his sweet wet Belgian lips upon my shiny little mouth. And with his smooches motorboating up against my special opening, what a dreadful, horrid screeching I let out. And all the crowd, when they heard my wretched sound, how'd they take it? Oh, well, a fancy lady puked into her daughter's lap. A priest screamed funky crashed and tossed his Bible in the trash. The dogs all howled and the mice went squeak. Half the mezzanine ran out and laid down in the street. Oh, baby, I sound bad. How about that? Oh.
You know, after my first performance, I was attacked by an angry mob who stuffed me in a sack with some stones and tossed me in the river. But I soon beckoned to some passers-by, like when those kids found Jumanji. And so now I'm back to let the world hear my fucking terrible noise. Check it out, I'm horrible. Wait. It's awful. I gotta do more fucking cardio or something. Oh, God.
Oh, well, I clearly could have used some extra bells on the side. Well, too bad. I guess I'll just have to go eat shit and die. A Ceratitats and a guitar shred. But the noise that I emit will have you begging for death. Oh, baby. Oh, I sound bad. Yeah, I do.
Guys, I enjoy these now.
Fucking amazing. And I love
Whoa! Bad instrument, but an absolutely stunning song. Now, you guys are never gonna believe this, but I am bad at math.
Okay.
And frankly, I simply cannot bear the weight of choosing the winner. On one hand, Ryan, you're my best friend, and you saved the lives of me and my wonderful parents. On the other hand, Steven, you're our guest, and you're a sweet little angel.
Thank you.
But this is a quiz show! There has to be a winner, or people are gonna whine about it in the comments and maybe even dox me. What is this show anymore? I don't even understand what.
Hey, son. It's all right.
You're doing a great job, sweetie.
Oh, thanks, guys. How's it going adjusting to life millions of years in the future?
Oh, pretty tight.
Yeah, we learned about all the modern marvels like dogs, math, fax machines.
And I'm still getting the hang of the whole capitalism invention.
Oh, are you thinking about getting a job?
We've been faxing his resume to every number we could come up with.
What have you even done in this modern era worth putting on a resume?
Let's see. Says here I learned the alphabet and I ate 3 dogs.
Honey, 4 dogs.
Hey, son, crazy pitch. But since we're unemployed and got nothing better to do, how about we pick the winner?
Sure. Steven, Ryan, are you guys down with that?
No, that sounds weird.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay, so I think the beefy boy.
I got issues with beefy boy, though. I always have.
Why?
I don't want to tell Professor and get him all self-conscious about his friends. You understand?
He loves that man. He loves the beef
What kind of
boy.
name is that?
Because he's so thick. After dutiful consideration, a decision has been reached. We hereby award the coveted cap and title of History Lizard to Steven Lim. But also hereby award yet another coveted cap to our son's friend and our savior, Beef Boy.
Wait, so we
Okay.
both get a cap?
I'll
Wow,
take
this
it.
has never happened.
Oh man, this is like
Hey.
a participation trophy.
Yeah,
Oh.
high five. Yeah.
Both teams played hard bullshit.
Okay, guys, come on up here and get your hat, Steven.
All
Why don't you
right.
come up
Let's
here?
go.
There you
That's a
go.
real hat. Do I get to keep this?
Yeah, you do.
I think you misspelled it here.
Okay, guys, for the record, it's History Wizard.
Yeah, History Lizard.
Okay, well,
Says lizard on there.
that's close enough, I guess. Look at these guys with their coveted caps.
It's a little weird that his says history wizard and mine just says beef, but you know,
Looks
we'll
good on you.
look past that.
Now that's friendship right there. Hey, well, Steven Lim, thank you for being here. Ryan, thank you for being a friend. And to all you folks at home, thanks for watching Puppet History, where the details are always a little fuzzy. Vaya con Dios!
Well, I still recall the day when Adolphe took me out to play and put his sweet wet Belgian lips upon my shiny little mouth. Then with his smoochers motorboating up against my special opening, what a dreadful horrid screeching I let out.
That's great. I forgot the professor is from Mexico now. I fucking love puppet history so much. Like these two, Watcher as a general is literally one of the best channels out there. I'm sorry. You can be having a shit day and they'll make you laugh. You can want to watch something scary and they'll still make you laugh. Oh, I love it. If y'all enjoyed today's video as much as I did, please go down there, hit the thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. While you're down there going over, hit that subscribe button. Join the Bill 5000 Nation. We do some crazy shit here, bruh. As always, be good to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. I mean, Professor could give his parents a job there. I mean, they're your parents, bro.